intentional. I am intentional. Yes, I'm invincible. I am intentional. I am intentional. I am intentional. I am the one. Yes, I'm invincible. I am intentional. I am the one. I am intentional. I am the sun. I am intentional. I am the sun. I am intentional. I am the sun. I am original. I am the one. I have ambition. I am consistent. People don't cross me without my permission. I am the one. I am the one. I am the one. I am the one. I am intentional. I am intentional. I am the one. Distant. People don't cross me without my permission. I am the one. I am intentional. I am the sun. I am the one. Cross me without my permission. I am the one. I am intentional. I am the sun. I am original. I am the one. My journey is it. My journey is it. No competition. Cross me without my permission. I am grateful for all I've been given. I am unique. I am complete. I am everything that I wish to see. I am unique. I am unique. I am unique. I am complete. I am everything that I wish to see. I am unique.
Peace, y'all. Welcome to the Planetary forecast. We're about to talk about August 15th to the 22nd. Usually I'm on here way earlier, but I had so much stuff going on. I am losing track of time, but it's okay. So I'm full up anyway, because I'm hard-headed, and I'm stubborn, and I'm determined, and I do what I want. Get it. But yeah, peace. I'm very excited to be here. I'm very happy to be here. We got some dope shit going on in the cosmos. Hope y'all enjoyed all of those meteor showers that was going on last week. I actually caught a shooting star last night. I was hyped as hell. I was like, oh, I see it. So I've been spending the last few nights outside, and it's been great. And I plan on going outside tonight after I finish doing this with y'all. I'm very hyped about that. Very excited. You know what I'm saying? Just going and, being around the stars and talking to them a little bit, getting acquainted, it's fun. It's fun out here, cuz it's fun. Enjoy myself. So, without further ado, let's talk about how we finna start the week, which started, today, Monday, August 15th, and how we finna end the week, which will be August 22nd. So, we're gonna start off with the sun. The sun, we starting off the week in mutable Leo energy in the 12th house. We are at the 22 degrees, which is that mutable energy, your ego, sitting in your heart chakra, sitting in that energy, of tapping into your inner child, your creative space. It's definitely a time to tap into your inner child and who you were as a child, and just either creating transformations in that space for yourself, or tapping back into that space to hug that part of yourself, to heal those parts of yourself, to be more aware of those parts of yourself and how you still exhibit those spaces now. And that's definitely going to align with you and your humanitarian pursuits on that 12th house energy, right? And then by the time we end next week, we're still going to be in mutable energy. Yo, Leo season, y'all stretching out. I'm a Leo rising, my Jupiter in Leo, so I'm feeling it. I've been feeling myself all Leo season, and then we about to go in Virgo, and I'm going to still be feeling myself, you feel me? But, it's actually lasting a whole lot longer than usual. And, we're going to ride with it. Like, let's just ride with the elongated Leo energy. We feeling it. But we're still going to be in mutable energy by next Monday. Next Monday is the 22nd. So we'll most likely be entering Virgo energy that Tuesday-ish, kind of, the middle of the 22nd. We'll talk about it next week. And we'll be in the first house. So now we're in that ascendant energy. And that ascendant energy, of course, is Leo energy, because the planets and the ascending energy is all lining up, getting ready for my birthday. That Leo rising, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus. It's just like, oh, Nika, it's almost your time. We about to align for you. Yay! And I'm like, yeah, let's get it. So that's what's happening. It's for me. It might be for some of y'all too, but it's for me. It's like, nah. As you guys can see, I'm very much tapped into the Leo energy. The moon, we're starting off the week in that cardinal Aries energy, bringing in new beginnings on your internal self, your emotions, how you feel when you're most comfortable, the people you feel most comfortable around. A lot of you guys are changing and finding new beginnings in your comfort zones, and that's always fun because it's tapping that 8th house energy of transformation. And with that being said, there's some comfort zones that are going to die. Not always like a person dying, but sometimes it's certain places and things and ideas that are in that comfort zone that's going to be, they gotta go. But that leaves room for new ones. So it's always cool. And then come Monday, the moon's gonna do a whole bunch of stuff. We're gonna get into it in a minute. But come Monday, the moon is gonna be in Cancer and 11th house ruled by Gemini. So, you know, right now in this space, you outward and you fired up. But by next week, you gonna be, a little introvert humbug into yourself. But definitely tapping into that maternal energy too, finding nurturing energy, you know, so we're gonna start off the week real lit on the inside. We're gonna end the week with solitude. Shouts to those who monthlies is gonna be in alignment with this energy. More power to you. And all my moon babies out there that's ruled by how this moon about to move. Y'all about to be on a high and low by the end of the week. Mercury, our decision making mind, right? How we make decisions, how we communicate, how we teach, how we listen, all that fun stuff, throat chakra things. We're sitting in that fixated Virgo energy. So being very detailed oriented, paying attention to the little parts, overthinking, is definitely in the realm right now, being in the fixated Virgo energy. Um, you know, speaking on details of things, paying more attention to how people are speaking to you, and paying more attention to the decisions you're making. For some of you guys who are looking at your marker board, your drawing board, your calendar right now, you're paying attention to the details of those things and where you're going and where you're coming from and where you've been and why and all those things. Like all of that is in alignment with Mercury being a fixated Virgo, and we're sitting this in the first house, which we know the first house is ruled by Leo energy right now, so it's definitely sitting in your heart chakra with these things. And that's exciting. It's going to make you feel better once you organize all those things. Definitely come back to your inner child with the decision making and say, what decisions did I want to make when I was a child, and how can I make those decisions now to please that little young child, now in my adult self within reason, you know what I mean? By the end of this week, Mercury is still going to be in that, Mercury is moving from fixated to mutable Virgo energy. It'll be in the second house, which is your house of how you accumulate your pinnacles and materialize things and your pleasure seeking center. So you're gonna go from utilizing your decision making in that, your mask and what you put on your outer self to it actually turning into pinnacles for you. So if you guys are at the drawing board, you are creating those calendars, you are doing all these organizing things, you are communicating and building with people and manifesting and materializing and harvesting those seeds, definitely by the end of this week, it's going to start to materialize for you. It's going to bring you joy, and it's always fun to get joy, right? Venus is our pleasure seeking center, what makes us feel good, what look like we in our heart chakra right now a little bit with the Venus energy. With that being said, we in the cardinal Leo energy, so we just now getting our toes wet and tapping into our inner creative energy, our romantic self with Venus, because Leo energy is romantic, but self-centered romantic. So let's talk about that. It's like nah, but just be mindful, of that. If you are a fire energy and you may have your Venus and fire energy, be mindful about that me energy, because it might not work in this. And it's gonna be bigger than usual. If you're air energy, that energy may be, bigger, get hotter than usual. Um, well, with that being said, we're sitting in the cardinal Leo energy, taking initiative for tapping into that creative self of yours. Oh, we got so many stars aligning for creative self. So all my creatives out there, please stay tuned for the weekly forecast, getting on more detail because the constellations are aligning for my artists out there. I'm so excited. I have like so much coming my way. I've had so many awesome meetings these past few days with different organizations and groups and stuff. I'm just so excited for less nobodies and myself and the different stuff and the different groups of people that I'm aligning with. It's just so dope. It's just so dope. Anyway, by the end of this week, we will be in the fixated Leo energy. So you're gonna go to the beginning of Leo energy, getting your feet wet. It's gonna hurt a little bit. You're still stumbling and rumbling in that realm of yours, and it's like I doesn't feel good. I don't know. A little bit of transformation energy in your space. But by the end of this week, you're definitely gonna be well comfortable, fixated in the space. Like, nah, this is what it is. This will make me feel good. This is pleasure seeking. This is how I'm gonna make my pinnacles. This is what's happening. This is what we're doing. And that's always fun. It's sitting in the 12th house, so it's humanitarian pursuits for all my activists, my people that's given to the community out there, my healers out there. I'm usually in a circle with healers and stuff, so majority of my planetary forecast be directed towards than my social workers, my, politicians, the people that's really here for the people. But the stars are aligned for those people right now. Honestly, the stars are on the forefront for those people that care about other people, are here to build upon and build with and all that on the forefront. The stars are here for y'all right now. Y'all on the forefront. So, keep that in mind in your pursuits and stuff like that. The stars are here for y'all. This is our age right now. Mars is our motivation, our ambition, also how you get fired up, either in an anger way or an ambitious, motivated way. It's really up to you, and how you decide to utilize your Mars. Like my Mars in Gemini, so like I could air shit out of something, like But also I like to be in multiple places at the same time. I like to do multiple things at the same time. I love doing, being a part of here, there, and everywhere. I am the goddess of the crossroads, Mercurian flow, through and through. So, that's just me giving an example of myself. You let me know where your Mars is at, and we'll make the alignment between, your Mars and the Mars that's going on around us. Right now, Mars is sitting in that mutable Taurus energy, okay? So what's sitting in our heart chakra vibes? Mars is sitting in that creativity energy, that your emotions, how you feel, how you materialize. A lot of you guys have been tired, haven't you? That mutable, like moving from fixated Taurus to mutable Taurus, expect lots of naps. See, my Mars is in Gemini, so I've been fighting the naps. Like today, I probably could have used a nap. Yesterday, I probably could have used a nap. I don't do that. We going. I gotta be going. I gotta be on go at all times. Fuck these naps, cause I got shit to do. But for those of you guys who are very in tune with this Mars and Gemini, the fact that you have been tired, you've been wanting to take these naps, things like that, that's completely natural. This is sitting in the 10th house, so you taking those naps and you going into the other realms in your dreams and stuff is definitely, where you're going to get a lot of your ideals and your aspirations and your achievements and all that fun stuff. Now, by next Monday, Mars is going to be entering cardinal Gemini energy. Oh, gang, it's my time now. I'm finna listen. I'm gonna tell y'all all my business, but I got mad stuff coming up with these different organizations that I've been aligning with, from the royal community, to BLM, to like music with Pharaoh, Jarumba, and STL. Like I got some work happening in LA. I got some work happening in PA. I got some work happening in Georgia. I got some work happening in DC. I'm just so excited of all the things that are aligning for self. And I just, I hope all these things are aligned for you guys too when you guys are in that creativity space. This Mars and Gemini is definitely going to give you multiple things to be motivated by, multiple, avenues of ambition, multiple avenues of activity, to get your energy going and moving. It's really up to you if you want to do it or not. Like for some of you guys who have your Mars naturally, in your natal chart in Taurus, it might be overwhelming for you. It might be too much for you. You might have to really sit down and organize and plan and slow your roll, things like that. For my air babies, be careful, because if your Mars is anything like mine, we in tune with this Mars in Gemini, it's going to amplify the fact that we already put too much on our plate. So we're going to be trying to put even more. So, follow me by like the beginning of September, I'm going to be tired. I'm be like, where my nap at? But in the meantime, we're gonna let that shit rock. Nap. So starting next Monday, Mars will be in that cardinal energy of Gemini. We're still sitting in the 10th house. So you tap into this Mars energy, which is your solar plexus, is really tapping into, your achievements, tap into your powerhouse, things like that. So, when you're channeling your Mars, use your solar plexus affirmation. It's gonna be dope. Jupiter. Jupiter is like our generosity, our luck. This is our luck house. This is where we tap into to get our luck and stuff like that. Bless you. Right now it's in the cart. Right now it's in retrograde, so it's moving slow for us. It's slowing down for us so that we can take a breath in this space. We can organize this space a little bit better. And I love the fact that it's sitting in new beginnings of Aries, another energy bringing new beginnings into our life. Sitting in the 8th house of transformation. So the things that the people, places, and things that you have been receiving abundance from and giving abundance to are going to change. There's a lot of avenues you've been giving a lot of energy to that you're not going to be giving energy to anymore. There's a lot of avenues you've been receiving energy from. You're not going to receive energy from those places no more. And initially, it's going to be devastating because we're still sitting in the cardinal energy of Aries. So this is still new for a lot of you, and it's slowing down so you can get accustomed to it in the cardinal space. You know, because when it gets fixated, it's gonna get a little messy if you ain't already in tune and moving like water. You hear me? Um, but for now, with it in the cardinal energy and it being slowed down, it's giving you a chance to breathe it in, to accept the transformations that's going on, accept the new beginnings. I know a lot of you guys right now is like, why me? There's things slipping through my fingers that I thought I was going to hold in my hands forever. What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. Well, that's not for you to have. Jupiter said, no, this is not where the generosity and the luck in your space lives or, derives. You got to get this from somewhere else. Time to get this from somewhere else. And so that's essentially what it's going to do. Because Jupiter is moving in retrograde, we're going to stay in that cardinal energy of Aries all week. We're going to go backwards like a degree. Saturn is sitting in the mutable energy of Aquarius. So a lot of challenges that you're going to get is from your social circles, which I say Saturn and Jupiter kind of hold hands and skip together. So like Saturn is showing you challenges in your circle, in your social space. Saturn is also showing you challenges in that revolution area of life. A lot of people, when we hear revolutionary ideas, we automatically think politics and government, usually federal government, but we can go even smaller with the state, county, and municipal government, which are people, places, and things we should be paying just as much attention to, right? I should. In addition to the government structure in our home with our family, the government structure in our job, the government structure with our friends, like all those different structure places. Saturn is in retrograde in this mutable energy of Aquarius. And now at this point, you guys should kind of be going with the flow of things. You guys should be very comfortable with Saturn sitting in Aquarius at this point and knowing that, and to let y'all know, it's in the sixth house. So it's in the house of daily routines, health, and wellness. So a lot of you guys should already be well versed in this area. Oh, we're fasting now. Oh, we're growing our own food now. Oh, we're not eating this anymore. We're not drinking that anymore. We're not socializing here anymore. We're not doing that anymore. We should already be well versed in this space now. However, for those of you guys who are not, Saturn is moving in retrograde for you guys in this mutable energy. You guys know Saturn moves into a new space around December. Jupiter and Saturn usually change their zodiac energies in December time. It looks like Jupiter might be on its own accord now, but Saturn is definitely going to change zodiac energies like around the solstice time. So, just get comfortable in this Aquarius energy and all that it brings and applying it to your routine. And for those of you guys who don't know, the sixth house is ruled by Capricorn right now. So creating infrastructure and structure in your daily routine is definitely key at this moment. Uranus is that energy, that progressive energy, right? It's that progressive energy that creates change. The analogy that I always gave was like, how you got that one friend? Well, I've always been the friend, and then I've had a friend because I won't sit here and act like I ain't been there, but you always got that friend. You always calling them and complaining about the same problem with the same person, and after a while they like, listen, you either gonna fix it or you're gonna stop calling my phone. And then now you got a decision to make. And usually we end up fixing it. But that's essentially what Uranus energy is. Uranus energy is like, listen, you gonna fix this? You gonna make progressive change in this? Or, you're just gonna keep getting knocked on your head by the universe. Let me know which one you want to do. Okay. And that's pretty much the energy of Uranus. And right now I'm sorry, I got bit up by mosquitoes when I was in the woods. Like, they fucked me up. It's a whole different breed out there. Like, you don't even know. You can have clothes on and they just don't care. They just like really rude and disrespectful. And that's my TED Talk for the day. Anyway, Uranus is sitting in that, oh, Jesus Christ. In that fixated Taurus energy right now. Definitely giving the energy of, like I spoke about this before with Uranus, also in alignment with a star, and it controls your circulatory system as well as your third eye. And it's sitting in your feminine side of your heart chakra, giving you that ability, the progressive change of pentacles, the progressive change of how you materialize things, the progressive change in what makes you feel good, what invokes your pleasure seeking, your self-esteem and all those things. Because that's what Taurus rules. Taurus is all about pleasure seeking and what you want to do and what you don't want to do, and materializing. Taurians can materialize the shit out of anything. You hear me? Um, but it's sitting in that fixated energy, and it's in the ninth house of philosophy, expanding your mindset, things like that. And just to let y'all know, for all my newbies that's watching for the first time, Uranus entered Taurus energy March 15th, 2019. That's when we started, for those of you who don't work in healthcare, that's when you started hearing COVID and we started having the shutdowns. So Uranus, gave us that progressive energy just like that. Like, hey, I'm in Taurus energy. I'm about to expand y'all mind. All the stuff that y'all were doing and y'all were having fun doing and going out and doing this and hanging with this and da 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 da. I'm about to change that shit just like that. And that's what it did. And that's what it will continue to do until April 26, 2026. As far as this week goes, Uranus will stay in that fixated Taurus energy. Um, it'll pretty much be in the same degree, 18 degrees. Neptune is like your extra sense. It's your subconscious. It's your dreams. It's your secrets. It's the sense that like you can't touch. You can't feel this sense, right? Right now it's in retrograde, and it's sitting in the mutable Pisces energy in the eighth house of transformation, okay? So you have this subconscious energy sitting in this dreamy energy, and it's sitting in that energy of transformation and sex and death and rebirth and power, you know? Um, and if you guys don't know, the eighth house is actually ruled by Pisces energy. So the house of death and rebirth and transformation and ascension and sex and all that is actually ruled by spirit right now. Spirit like, nah, I'm about to take this whole house right here. I got this. I'm about to, you know, spirit. Anybody that's dealing with death in their space right now, anybody that's dealing with any level of transformation right in their space right now, whether you understand it or don't, just know that spirit is in control of it. Spirit is ruling that house right now. So, I kind of wish that people would have a better relationship with death, whether it's people, places, or things, so that we can accept, so you can accept it a bit better and just know that, that's the circle, that's the way things go. But, until then, you might get a little triggered about what I just said. Um, but yeah, that's the subconscious energy. Your dreams may have been way vivid, especially if you've been tapping in with Uranus energy, with the pleasure seeking energy. If you have been transforming the things that you find pleasure in, or if you have been tapped into the Mercury and Virgo energy, as far as like, you know, paying make decision making and paying attention to the details in your decision making, and even the Jupiter and Aries and having new beginnings of where you give and receive your energy. That Neptune and Pisces is going to give you vivid dreams. And when I say that in more detail, it's like, are you fasting? Are you not smoking like GMO sprayed weed? Are you still eating GMO foods? Are you still, depriving yourself of sleep? Are you still ignoring your own personal circadian rhythm to follow whatever, someone is indoctrinating you to follow? Like, different things like that. And if you really been tapping into yourself and what spirit wants you to do within, like, the dreams is coming. My dreams have been crazy and vivid, and it's getting to the point now where I can remember them when I wake up, which is pretty cool. But that's sitting in the eighth house of transformation. Retrograde slowing down so that you can tap in and just enjoy the fact that spirit got it. We're pulling the Wheel of Fortune card here, y'all. Spirit got it, okay? Um, Pluto is the energy of power. That's our powerhouse. That's our solar plexus right there, and it's sitting in Capricorn. So it's time for your powerhouse to have structure and to be at the table, creating structure, manifesting structure. We know Capricorn energy is also the energy of the pentacles and manifesting things and bringing things into physical. And we're sitting in the fifth house, which is our heart chakra house, with that energy. So you have your solar plexus chakra being aligned with your root chakra, which is Capricorn, and being aligned with your heart chakra, which is the fifth house. So I think that's a beautiful alignment of energies coming together. But yeah, creating transformation in your structure, in your home, your business, your job, school system, the government, your neighborhood, It's just like a whole like structure change of things going on. And right now it's moving in retrograde, so it's essentially just slowing down for you to be able to just guide in this and vibe in this mutable energy, because now it's really time to move like water. It's time to move like water in this Capricorn energy. And for those of you who don't know, Pluto's gonna has been in Capricorn energy since January 26, 2008, and will remain in this energy until January 20th, 2024. And then we also found out that Pluto will enter Aquarius energy on March 23rd, 2023. So 3/23/23 is going to touch Aquarius energy, but then it's going to go back into Capricorn energy for the remainder of that year up until election time or election announcement, November 19th, 2024. So I told you guys be mindful of those dates, write those dates down. Some crazy things are going to happen on the dates. I already predicted, I told y'all that John Wick actually comes out on 3/23/23. I love John. I love Keanu Reeves. He's a Virgo too, in case you guys didn't know. But that's one happening that's happening on March 23rd. We'll see what else is happening on March 23rd. Hopefully, it's nothing too crazy. But we do know that January 20th, 2024 is when around the time the president usually comes into the office and starts doing things. So, and then we also know that November 19th, 2024 is kind of like when they start counting up, and we're getting accustomed to the fact that, the president and all the government stuff has been announced and stuff like that. So those are like crazy dates to just mark on your calendar and say, ooh, what are your like, y'all let me know in the comments, like, what are y'all predictions for those days? Because I'm interested in what y'all think that's going to happen when Pluto touches Aquarius energy. I think it's going to be pretty interesting because Pluto and Capricorn been popping. Pluto entered Capricorn when Obama became president, and we kind of been doing a lot of stuff since then, like the whole structure and everybody's mindset and third eye has been open to the game and different things like that. A lot of people, people, places, and things have been going on. A lot of historical moments that, our grandkids, great grandkids are going to read about in textbooks unless they lie about it, or hopefully we start writing our own textbooks. I think it's time for us to start writing our own textbooks and creating our own school curriculum, things outside of this government. For those of you guys who don't know, like, me, I homeschool my kids. Me and my oldest son, we do lifespan psychology. We do adolescent psychology together. And in our research, it has been written in the textbooks that the public school education system was a tool of the colonists when they came on this land. The goal was to indoctrinate the Native American children. I am a Native American, and if you are an Aboriginal, as are you. And, that was the tool. And it was like, you either join our schools or we're going to put you in jail, or we're going to, enslave you. That's essentially what jail is. You're a slave now, and you don't have, your rights are very limited. And so, we learned that is the history, the foundation of the public schools. And the public school system isn't even that old. It's like, well, it depends on what area. Like, when the colonists came in Canada, actually, no, it's not that old. It's like 1800s. In the 1800s is when the public school education system was created, because, a lot of the kids in the 1800s, they were activists, and they were also working in the job force. So, the school system is not that old, just like this government is not that old. Fiat currency is not that old. Like, we can live without it. A lot of these, things that were brought over here on this land are tools of control. And you got to know when you're being controlled and how deep the control is. Like, when I first started homeschooling my kids, I had to unlearn a lot of things. Like, I was like very hard on myself. Like, dang, I got to do this Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. Both my kids, I got a 16. Like, my kids are 8 years apart. So, I got a big kid and I got a little kid, and I'm trying to give them both 8 hours. And it's like, no, you don't got to give them 8 hours. You can give both of them 2 hours a day, a class a day, teaching them how to cook, teaching them how to go in the garden, teaching them how to go outside and identify plants, teaching them how to, like my oldest son, he knows how to give prescriptions when somebody is sick. If you're sick, he knows how to research what to heal you, but he does know a lot of stuff off the top of his head too. We're learning Latin, learning Arabic. We're learning how to name our own, create our own language. Me and my son are learning awareness, because his Venus is in Aries, and he's not the most emotionally intelligent individual in the world. So, for the first couple of years of his homeschooling, we've been learning energy awareness and emotional intelligence. That's been the core on top of him, tapping into art and singing and doing gymnastics and stuff. So it's really about what your kids want to learn, what they are capable of learning. The Common Core has taught us that by age 10, my son should be doing this and that and that. But what if he's not ready? Because my child learns things in spurts. Because what he didn't learn last year, this year, within the first month, he was like, yeah, I got it. Because I spent all last year giving him the emotional intelligence and building himself up. The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. Oh, that's a book. Definitely going to check that out. Thank you. Schooling the World, The White Man's Last Burden. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to check those out. I love when people share with me stuff. I love that. Thank you so much. It shouts back to you. Thank you. Um, but yeah, those are different things that I do, with my kids. It took a lot of unlearning and a lot of defending because, I'm around people that got their kids in school. So they're like, why are you not doing this with your kids? Why are you not doing that with the kids? Why are you da, da, da? Because I don't have to. Because it's not required. Because I own a business and I'm aligned with so many other business owners that whatever my child wants to do, I should be able to pick up my phone and say, oh yeah, such and such. Can my child be an apprentice in your business? Because they want to do that over there. I should be able to do that. And I can do that. I can do that. I do enough for a lot of these businesses out here that I can do that for my sons. They always have a job. They always have a career. And if they can't get it outside of me, if they can't get it outside of me, they have it in me. I have a business. My business is multifaceted. There's always a space for them to do whatever it is they want to do. I own land, so they don't have to worry about paying nobody no rent money or nothing like that. And all they got to do is learn how to build stuff with their hands, which is what I'm teaching them now in their childhood. So it's like when you align your ducks in a row correctly, you don't worry about what everybody, you're not worried about what the government offers or what mainstream offers because I've aligned myself well enough to that they don't have to worry about those things. They never have to worry about getting a job because they need a place to live. They can worry about getting a job because they want something to do and they're bored. It's a difference. It's a difference. My kids are very lax. They have white sneaker energy. And as they should, and they should be allowed to. Like we have to stop normalizing struggle. We normalize and we glorify struggle, and that's not cool. I don't like that. Thank you. Um, our true node. The true node is like these are like things we energy we need more of. Energy that we could. You're not gonna eat all them snacks in one day, but okay. Energy we need more of, energy that we could tap more into, and this is where we get a lot of our life lessons and stuff. And right now, the true node is in fixated towards energy, but it's also on retrograde. Again, giving us the fact that the true node, is in alignment with Uranus, which is that progressive change energy, is enhancing the fact that we need to change how we manifest, what we manifest, how we materialize, what we find pleasure and pride in, you know. It's like the unlearning I had to do with homeschooling. And I'm not no dummy. I'm a straight A student. I graduated school with a 3.8 GPA. I had full ride scholarships. I went to college. I got the honor society. I got into the secret honor societies. Like I did all that. That was my pride. Those are my accolades. I did all that already. So to have, to be in a space where I had to experience that transformation with my sons and realize that all that shit that I took pride in, all them certificates, all those straight A's and high ass GPAs and stuff, that was just me being really good at an indoctrination game. I was never indoctrinated. I don't like being told what to do. My spirit always was on 1,000. It was just getting my mind aligned. And it just took a lot of unlearning for me. Like, blessed are the ones with the children because your children are extensions of you, but they're the transformed extensions of you. And they're in your space telling you what they're telling you because they literally chose you as a portal to provide you with said transformation. And if you're not accepting your children as such, you're definitely doing yourself a disservice. You're definitely doing yourself a disservice. If you're sitting here whooping your children into likeness instead of listening to the transformations your children have come into this plane with, yeah, you're doing yourself a disservice. I listen to my kids. My kids, definitely taught me how to relax, take care of self, be mindful of self. Sometimes I gotta put me first, and my children celebrate that about me. In fact, they're the ones that remind me to put me first. Like, did you make sure you ate? You over here make sure we eat. Did you eat? Did you sleep? Like, my sons do that for me. So, let your kids do that for you. Or like if you're a auntie or an uncle or a big cousin, let the kids do that for you, because that's what they're here to do. They are transformed extensions of us. That's why they're here. Um, but in the Kabbalah, they say that the true node is actually how you find your tribe. This is your life purpose here. In the Kabbalah, the true node is actually what everything evolves around. So that's pretty interesting. The ascendant is your mask, your overall self. This is what you expect of the world and what you think the world expects of you. And right now, it's sitting in that mutable Taurus energy in the 10th house, another energy that we have. So a lot of you guys are rooted in the materials, rooted in manifesting. A lot of you guys, that's where your mask is at. Like, I feel like people think that I'm not good enough, or I don't think I'm good enough, or I don't think you're good enough if you're not materializing, if you're not producing, if you're not pleasure seeking, getting on airplanes, going here, going there, buying this, buying that, owning this, owning that. That's where a lot of this energy is at. But I love the fact that Uranus is in this energy to change that. That doesn't have to be the way your mask is. We have to change, you know, that mask of ourselves. We have to change that heart chakra of ourselves that consume, consume, consume. We can't just keep being consumers. At some point in time, we're going to have to be producers. And I say producers not for the fucking economy. Y'all know how I feel about the economy. Not for the economy, but for nature, for ourselves. Because that's our real purpose here. We created all this complex stuff to distract us from our real purpose. We created all this comfort zone stuff because our real purpose was, I guess, to some soul centuries ago, was way harder to, control and be in charge of the flora and fauna. I guess being in control of the economy was sound more fun. I don't know. You guys tell me. But, we have to go back to the netter rooms. It's time to go back to the netters and the way of life of those things, and change the way you read these books, change the way you read the Quran, change the way you read the Circle 7, change the way you read the Bible, change the way you, Noble Drew Ali said, read all these books. For some of you guys that are putting so much effort into doing away with the Bible, we wrote the Bible. You just can't read. And I can't with the people that are just like regurgitating memes. Did you read it? Did you read it with this set of eyes? I know you read it with the indoctrinated set of eyes, but have you read it with the eyes that you have now? Have you read it with your 3 eyes? Have you read it with your 5 eyes? Have you read it with your 12 eyes? Have you read it with your 144? If you haven't, then you don't have no business sharing no meme about a Bible. Okay? You don't have no room to be sharing a meme about a Quran, a Kabbalah, nothing. If you haven't read it with your 144. You have to read. Learn how to read. If you can't do it, learn how to do it. Listen to some people who have already read it with their 144. If you have to do that first, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And the cosmos is working in your favor. Everything is in fucking retrograde right now, so you can do it. We left we over here searching for Akashic records, and we knew that generations later that we were going to lose them within, because we not tapped in within. We living in box houses. Y'all putting all this man-made stuff before God. Don't none of y'all want to go sleep in the woods. Don't none of y'all want to go outside and be around animals. Most people are scared of animals. They see a possum and start screaming and running up the street. Like, they here for us. This is our stuff. All of this is for us. So why are you screaming and running away from me? Like, I ain't saying walk up on it and try to shake hands, but like, come on now, what are we doing right now? For real? Yeah, you're right. Discernment is key. Discernment is definitely key. Discernment is also how you read. It's also how you read. I got a lot of Virgo energy. I got a lot of Capricorn energy in me. So like all that emotional stuff, I don't really make room for it. I don't have room for it. I don't even have room for it in me for me. So like all that emotional reading that people do, and I think a lot of people are allowing social media to be their new indoctrination. They did away with the public school. They did away with these things. Now here comes the virtual reality to indoctrinate them, and it shows. People will regurgitate a meme and call it truth and this, that, and the third, and not do any research, not double check, triple check. It's just like, oh, this feels good to me. This is feeding my emotions. This is evoking my heart chakra. If you read Metu Netter, you would know anything that's invoking your heart chakra is not for you. It's against you. Nothing should be able to invoke your heart chakra. You invoke your heart chakra when you want shit to pop off. But if something is intentionally invoking your heart chakra and you feel like it's true and you feel like da da da, we're not doing that. We gotta grow up. But that's that. Boom. The midheaven. Midheaven is like your this is like your pinnacle of achievements and aspirations and all these things like that. Right now, midheaven is in that cardinal energy of Aquarius. So, being like in that social revolutionary space, being in that somewhat detached energy, being the air and giving life to different spaces and moving like air and being expanded and stuff like that. That's definitely in tapping into that energy is definitely going to bring you, a space of achievement, bringing you to that pinnacle of aspirations and achievement. I'll give you an example. Like my midheaven is in Taurus. Me materializing is my superpower. That's what I'm good at. That's what people come to me for. People say, "Oh, yo, I see you. You be doing all this different stuff. Like you do what, and this, that, and the third. Like I see how you materialize." And that's how more people come to me because they know I have the ability to materialize, and whatever they bring to my table, I'm going to build them a force with it. That's just what I do. It's also what I'm addicted to. But with this energy and Aquarius energy, I'm being taught how to disconnect a little bit and not be so addicted to it. I'm being taught how, I'm dealing with different social energies around that energy to be able to materialize. I'm dealing with revolutionary energy around my energy of being able to materialize. The themes around my materializations are changing. Now, if you know where your midheaven is, you can put it in the chat. We can talk about it. I'll show you how the alignment goes between your transit and your natal. But this is applying to the sixth house, which is your daily routines, your health and wellness. So midheaven being in this realm, it changes like the energy that you're around on a regular basis in your regular spaces and places. Um, where by the end of this week, you're going to be moved into the fixated energy of Aquarius. So you're going to go from the cardinal to the fixated. Lilith energy, this is what triggers you, what pisses you off or turns you on, and it whatever this irritant is usually like an energy that you also have within yourself. This is like the dark side of yourself. Right now it's in fixated Cancer energy. It's also on a retrograde. It's a lot of shadow work being done with maternal energy, whether it's your own maternal energy, the maternal energy you have witnessed, the maternal energy you have endured. It's a lot of maternal and nurturing energy that's being on the stand right now. Okay, and it could be very triggering. But it has to be, it's like a ball of yarn. You have to like pull it out and straighten it out and align it. That's just what it is. That's just how I roll. That's just how I roll. You know what I mean? Also, for those of you guys who are not spiritual that are sitting in here, I don't know why you're sitting in here, but those of you guys who are not spiritual, what this does for you is you're triggered. You're triggered by those individuals that are saying grand rising instead of good morning. You're triggered by those people that wear crystals and you're like, I don't need those. You're triggered by the people that use tarot and you're like, oh, that's the devil. You're triggered by the spiritual awakening amongst these newbies. You're triggered by the just the new world order that's going on within our souls. It bothers you. That's that Lilith in Cancer. You're bothered by that intuitive spirit. You're bothered by what the moon is pulling out of people. Okay. Um, it's a sitting in the 11th house, so this has to do with your humanitarian, not necessarily humanitarian pursuits like the whole wide world, but more closer like your state, that community type realm of things. Excuse me, your social circles and stuff like that, moving into those spaces. And this is definitely where you're going to get those aha moments for those of you guys who are not triggered by spirituality. This is definitely where you're going to get your aha moments, tapping in the spirit. I say meditate. If you are not meditating, if you're not giving yourself, and I ain't talking about no 15-minute meditation, that's cute or whatever. I'm saying giving yourself an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Focus on your breaths. Focus on how your breaths make your entire body feel. And as you're doing that, like you're gonna get so many downloads, it's gonna be ridiculous. And if you're keeping your downloads to yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice. This is in the 11th house, so that means that whatever downloads you get, they're not just for you, they're for those who need to hear. So don't keep them to yourself. I know a lot of you guys like, ooh, I got this little light of mine, I'm going to keep it in my pocket. No, that little light of yours, you're supposed to let it shine. Okay? Stop doing that. Don't do that. And that's why other individuals who are allowing their light to shine trigger you, and you feel like they're doing too much for attention, or they're being self-centered or arrogant, whatever. It's because you're not walking in what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Because that's how you utilize your magnet. Like everybody put quarters on their forehead, but nobody realized that the third eye and the crown chakra is your magnet. When they did that, we didn't have that, follow-up conversation about that. I'm not sure why we didn't, but you should have. When you put your magnet out there, it's going to attract the magnets you're supposed to attract, and you're going to stop it. And it's going to make those magnets that you had no business attracting in the beginning go away, whether they're a part of your comfort zone or not. They're not a part of your magnet. And that's that Uranus and Taurus energy. Chiron or Sheeran, you guys know I'm good for butchering something, but this is a comment. And for those of you guys who haven't tapped into Virgo Virgin Talk, that is a show. It's the last episode we did was about asteroids and comets, and we got really into depth about the different asteroids and comets and how asteroids and comets provide more branches to your natal chart. And you could really, first of all, there's over 12,000 asteroids and comets in the asteroid belt alone. We're not even talking about Juniper belt or Kuiper belt or any. We're talking about the main asteroid belt. So like you could really study yourself and your natal chart forever and still not be done. So for those of you guys who are seeking perfection in this lifetime, shit, good luck studying all 12,000 plus of those asteroids on your natal chart. And I had read something earlier today. Someone had posted about your natal chart and human design and all these different things just being descriptions of your meat suit. And that was cool. At the same token, they're really just they're reflections of us. They're reflections of us. It's deeper than our meat suit. All planetary placements don't just have an outer physical shell. They have an EMF field. You have an EMF field. Everything that's alive has an EMF field. That's why you can't ask the universe or God for dead entities, because anything that is dead does not have an EMF, and you can't attract it because there's no magnet on it to attract you. So when you ask the universe, God, Allah, whoever it is you talk to for abundance, you're going to attract people. You're going to attract talents. You're going to attract opportunities. You're going to attract foods. You're going to attract, flora and fauna and different energies that are alive, because a magnet attracts a magnet. A magnet is not going to attract plastic. A magnet is not going to attract paper. Make it make sense. A magnet is going to attract other metals and other magnets. It's the only thing it's going to attract. It's the only thing it's designed to attract. And that's the same thing with asteroids and stuff like that. They have their own EMFs. They have their own magnets. And they're aligned with your magnet. So learning about them is deeper than learning about your meat suit. However, there's so many more details to you. And I think that status, and I'm not blowing shade on that status because it's relatable, but I think that status is coming from a place where it's just concentrated on the planets and the houses, and that's it. But when you get into asteroids and meteors and comets, we're literally the entire universe. You are the entire universe. And if you can't fathom that, and you're just narrowing it down to planets and houses, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because even the planets are in a zodiac that's in a constellation, because we're going to get in the sidereal chart too. I'm talking about the tropical chart right now. The tropical chart is the zodiac energies at a 360, and it's divided into 30 degrees. We created that too. I know we like to say, oh, the Europeans ain't create nothing. We created everything. Just get over that part. They didn't create anything. They try to interpret the things that we've created, and they do a terrible job at it. Now, you can either sit here and play I declare war or some war with people that are supposed to be sitting at the kids table, or you could sit at the grown ups table and own the stuff that we created. We created all this stuff. They're trying to interpret it, and we're sitting at their table letting them interpret it to us. Don't do that. That doesn't make sense. That makes no sense. We interpret our own stuff, okay? But coming back to this energy or whatever, Chiron. Chiron is a comet. It's all about wounds and healing. This comet is more so how you turn your traumas into a superpower. You know how some people utilize their story. Usually it's a story of abuse or neglect or just a void, and now they're going on tour with their book and they're selling their book and they're telling their story and they're on Dr. Phil and Oprah and that's Chiron. That's Chiron energy. Okay. Right now it's in that fixated energy of Aries, bringing new beginnings. So for those of you guys who want to keep your trauma and stuff all stuck in your heart chakra, or and it's radiating off the back of your neck and you're having trouble aligning with people and fine tuning your magnet, your root chakra is all fucked up because you don't trust people and you don't trust yourself and all these different things. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to tap into this Chiron and find out where it's at for you. But right now on the outside of you, it's a new beginnings, which is also in the eighth house of transformation. You being able to tap into your wounds and your traumas is going to assist you. And one, when you start speaking on it, because it's time for you to start speaking on those things. Stop being quiet about them. They didn't happen to you for you to put them in a mason jar them up, and never speak about them again. They happen to you so you can go out and speak about them and attract other magnets that need to hear what you're saying, that have been going through the same thing as well, that need that verbal hug. You know what I mean? Um, you a lot of us, you receive gifts, but then when it's time for you to give them, it's like, oh, I don't want to give them. I don't want nobody to know my business. And what goes on in this house stays in this house. I'm trying to be present. I'm trying to keep that stuff from the past. Or you're embarrassed about the trauma you've been through. I know, especially men, because men come to me for healing more than women do. And a lot of men that come to me for healing is they're very embarrassed about their trauma. They don't want to talk about it because they feel like it emasculates them. It makes the trauma they went through makes them less of a man because they went through it. And it's like, no, you think men don't go through trauma? Men are allowed to be traumatized? That's not real life. You're allowed to say that, hey, I've been traumatized. Somebody did something to me, or something happened to me, or this, that, and the third, and talk about it because you are opening up the EMFs of other individuals who have went through it as well, and it will turn into your superpower. It will be something that you keep on the outside of yourself, not as like a shield of I hate the world, and I'm not as a callous. There's no room for the universe in a callous heart, or Allah in a callous heart. Depends on what book you want to read or quote about it. But um, not as like a callous type thing, but as like, this happened to me, and I'm empowered now, and now I know how to help other people, so it never happens again, or it doesn't happen as often, at least not in my reality. It takes a lot. A lot of people feel like they're only a drop in the bucket, but if you're not if there's no drops going in the bucket, then there's no water in the bucket. The drops have to go in the bucket for there to be water in there. So don't think that your drop is small. Your drop is important. It makes sure that there's water in the bucket. So don't do that to yourself. Don't minimize and don't suppress your traumas and things because this is the time to put them out there. Um, and we'll be ending the week in the same type vibe. Chiron spends about 4 years in each zodiac. It spends about 7 to 8 years in Aries energy because their orbit is kind of like oblongish, like ovalish. So it spends the most years in Aries energy. So we'll be in Aries energy for a bit. Um, I want to say about like another 2 3 years, Chiron is still staying in that Aries energy. Excuse me. I was waiting for that to come out. Ceres. Ceres is an asteroid. It's aligned with Iris, if you guys are more familiar with the term Iris. But Ceres is like the nurturer type energy. Some forms of nurturing and nurture, like cooking and farming and agriculture and just providing all types of, food for all yourselves. You know what I mean? And also is your relationship with mother figures and daughters in your space. That is also another energy of Ceres. It spends about 4 months in each sign. Right now, it's on the cusp of cardinal and fixated energy of Leo. So definitely tapping into that inner child creativity energy in your heart chakra. Being wide eyed in the space of nurturing and being a nurturer. Like ask yourself, or you ask the elders that know that remember you best. Like when I was a child, what soothed me? What soothed me? What made me feel good? What calmed me down when I was going crazy? Ask yourself those questions too, and tap back into that now being present, because it's probably an energy that you need to start exerting now, or it could be an energy you need to start giving to yourself you've been ignoring about, or something, it's like it's a void in this relationship and I can't put my finger on it. And it's probably that piece. That's probably that piece. Um, Pallas is an asteroid. This is all about the talent and the arts, the wisdom and self-defense, justice, strategy, and it's also your relationship with father figures or son individuals in your space. There's also genius qualities that you may overlook. And right now, Palace is it's on the cusp of the fixated and mutable energy of Gemini. So like coming back into that, like having like multiple streams of things to do, having multiple venues and alleys and ways of getting what it is that you want or what it is that you're looking for. This is that space. You know what I'm saying? It's in the 10th house, so it's going to the aspirations and achievements of things. For those of you guys who are good at communicating, communicate. It's more, I know, I didn't realize that there was a trend shaming people for having podcasts. That's kind of weird to me, because that's like the best way to get into living rooms you can never physically be in. At the same token, I get some of the rhetoric behind that. If all you're doing is talking on the virtual universe and you're not speaking in the physical to people physically around you, you're not really creating that reality change in the physical. So because people can turn their phones off and then go about their business and still be sad. Like, all my friends are online and nobody's really here in person. So like it's really up to you to just start speaking to people in person. Those people that sit on a corner in front of the chicken shack all day, the people in front of the Chinese store, the people in front of the liquor store, the people that sit on their porch all day, start hosting different little block parties, little events, at a local park in your space, and just talk. Just talk, like networking talk. Like, hey, who are you? What do you do? Or bring a mic and a speaker, and let everybody. Niggas love to rap and freestyle. You better bring that mic. And then, what I like to do is I like to have prerequisites. Hey, ain't no cursing. Don't disrespect women, men, children, nothing. Now here go the mic. What you gonna do with it? Challenge them. Bring them into a new space. Blow their minds. Like, oh, you a dope rapper? Say something positive then. That's why I do the flatter battle rap. Flatter battle is a battle rap, and the goal is to compliment your opponent instead of that battle rap where we bringing each other down and speaking violently on each other and stuff like that. I decided to do a little 180 with that shit myself, and my the person that assisted me with the mind of that, my partner at the time. And so like just camel walking with that. Have your own flatter battle in your space, I'll be fly, and that's a way of, utilizing that energy. And father energy isn't always just like daddy. Father energy is also like protection, you know, whereas mother energy is nurturing, father energy is protection. How are you protecting your space? How are you protecting self? How are you protecting others around you? Where is it at? So that energy is in Gemini. It's definitely coming in communication. It's time to start communicating. All right, communicating on protection. Different avenues coming in your space to do that. Don't overlook your talent to speak up. That the only reason why people don't feel like they have a talent to speak up is because they're not exercising their throat chakra, and they're doing themselves a disservice every time. Juno. Juno, we start off the week. Juno is also in retrograde. We're starting off the week on the cusp of the fixated, immutable energy of Pisces in the 8th house. So Juno's chilling out there with Neptune, and that's always fun. Hang, Hang, gang, gang. Juno is an asteroid. It gives off the energy of Hera. So Juno is the energy of insight and wounds and loyalty, attachment, your needs in a relationship and a marriage. You guys don't know the story of Hera. Hera was the wife of Zeus, and every time a woman came up, and Zeus was doing the most, and she was so loyal to him. She was more loyal to him than she was to herself, and there was just something about her. Like she would go behead a woman and kill a son, one of his kids, and all this stuff in a heartbeat. But she would not do nothing to Zeus too much. You know what I mean? So it's really like, what traits in other people make you take on that Hera energy? What energy is going to make you be attached to them in that way, to where like, I'll fuck everybody else up, but I ain't gonna fuck you up because it's that energy about you. And right now, it's in Pisces. It's in spirit. Like when you speak, when you see the spirit, when you see the God in somebody, when you see the Allah in somebody, it's different. You would do anything for that person. This is tribe now, and I'm saying that if you enlighten, if you're in the enlightened space. If you're not, you're not going to understand. You're not going to understand what I'm saying right now, and it's just not going to apply to you. But like when you see that spirit and you say, "Oh, this is tribe right here. This is," and a lot of you guys are meeting people that physically look familiar to you. Like I've seen you before, bro. I've seen you like me. That since 2020, I've been meeting so many familiar people. In fact, I would say even before then, I've been meeting familiar people. Before then there was a spurt in my life. I want to say it was like 2017. Yeah, 2017. I was working at this job, and there was so many people there that was so familiar. It just felt like, yo, I was supposed to be here. And then I started having deja vu in the house that I was living in at the time. And then I started remembering, like, yo, I was having dreams about this house. I've been in this house already. And then the deja vu stopped for a little bit. And then it started coming back again in like 2020, and I started meeting familiar people again. And like that might start happening to you, a lot more as you walk into that space, especially fine tuning your magnet, opening up that throat chakra, start communicating with people and stuff like that, and being, safe spaces and places around you. But yeah, and it's also in that energy of transformation, death and rebirth and stuff like that. So, you find these attachments, they're going to bring transformation into your life. Okay. And it is going to cause other relationships and attachments in your space to die off. And it's only rightfully so. And if you're holding on to those attachments for dear life, it's going to get harder and harder for you to hold on to them. It's going to be so much resistance. It's going to be where a lot of your stress is going to come from because you won't let it go. All right. So be mindful. Vesta is like the vestual virgins. That's like the story behind the vestual virgins. They were, grab virgins. They had to spend 30 years keeping fire alive, and if they lost their virginity within that 30 years, they were like stoned or whatever. And so the vestual virgin, the Vesta is an asteroid, and it's about your passion, your inner nun in yourself. Like when you're not using this is like the sacral chakra energy. But instead of the sacral chakra energy being sensual and sexual, it's like what gives you the same pleasure as being sensual and sexual. My Vesta, for some reason, I always thought my Vesta was in Virgo, but it's not. My Vesta is actually in Gemini. It's still in Mercury energy, but it's in Gemini actually. So my Vesta comes from, doing stuff in the community, still same energy because Virgo energy is about nurturing and stuff and harvesting, but mine is in communication, getting to the community, doing things like that. That's what my Vesta is. Right now on the outside of it, Vesta is in the cardinal energy of Pisces. So it's just really like tapping in the spirit, listening to spirit, talking to spirit. A lot of you guys are celibate and abstinent and all those things because you guys are spending more time talking to your inner souls, talking to the outer energy around you, going into nature, fasting, all those things. That's definitely being tapped into the Vesta energy. And Vesta is in retrograde in that cardinal energy right now. So it's slowing down in that cardinal energy for some of you guys that are just now walking into that space and getting your feet wet. And it's applied in your seventh house. So a lot of the time it's going to be in the energy of creating balance in your space, providing justice in different areas of your life. And a lot of your one-on-one relationships. A lot of your one-on-one. Some of those relationships are going to go away because you tapping into that Vesta energy of tapping that spirit is going to turn them off. And that's not your problem. It's not your problem to make them speed up. It's not your problem to make them catch up. The thing is that not everybody's going to be where you're at in this lifetime. Some people, they got to come back a couple more times. Some people got to come back the next time, and then they might be where you're at. But if you're trying to force feed other people and energies to be where you're at, you're draining yourself, and that's you trying to hold on to attachments that you shouldn't be trying to hold on to. You gotta let those attachments go. Keep your hands open because and keep your crown open and open your throat chakra, open your heart chakra for when that energy does come. Because that's what those are the attachments you're supposed to have. If you're still over here attaching yourself to past situations and past failed relationships, and that one time she hurt you, and that one time he played you and stuff like that, like when the actual magnets that you're supposed to be attracting in the present come, you're not gonna know how to treat them. They're gonna be weird to you. They're gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy to dismiss them, do away with them, treat them the way you treated your past attachments. And it's like, no, bro, you gotta treat these attachments different. These ain't that. All right. Aries. Aries is a dwarf planet. It's the feminine energy of Mars. This brings on the energy of discord and like lack of harmony. It's on the out physically speaking in the solar system. Aries is actually the planet outside of Pluto. So they always say like, first of all, they be going back and forth for whether Pluto is a planet. I think that's some government shit. Like they like when we go to war with the Plutonians, we like, all right, they not a planet no more. I don't know. Pluto checks off all the boxes of what makes a planet if they, keep it 100. But Pluto, there's a planet outside of Pluto. There's more planets outside of that, but there is a planet outside of Pluto, and it's called Aries, and this is the energy of discord and lack of harmony. And when Pluto is creating that transformation, naturally, so the energy of disharmony comes because there's not really much harmony going on when you're in the middle of the hurricane of transformation, right? But this discord somewhat cleanses it up a little bit. And I'm waiting for another planet on the outside of that to be like the robo. What do they call them? The little robot vacuum cleaners. Like it gotta be a planet on the outside of that does that. Like, and if not, we about to put our brains together and manifest that joint. Like, let's get a little vacuum cleaner planet on the outside of that, please. Thank you. Chop chop. We have the power to do that. Let me know when y'all ready to start doing that because the cosmos are us and we are the cosmos and we are magnets. If we collect it, just how they used to do rain dances. You got to think a Native American tribe wasn't 10, 12 people. A Native American tribe was like 30,000, 40,000 people living on a mound together. So when 40,000 people put their heads together and did a rain dance, you best believe rain came. You hear me? If 30,000 people put their head together once a month and said, oh, okay, it's time for the crops to grow, no crops was growing. That's 30,000 heads that just came together. So, that's what I got for that. Anyway, last but most certainly not least, we got the part of fortune, which is the signifier of prosperity. And this is actually calculated by intersecting the lines of the sun ecliptical, the moon's ecliptical, and like the rising sun, which we know the rising is where the sun rises on the east horizon. So where those three little orbit lines line up at, that is the part of fortune spot. And right now it's in that fixated energy of Libra, creating balance and fairness. Also ruled by Venus. So we're still talking about the heart chakra here, opening up your heart. Please, y'all, start opening up your heart. And that's in the second house of possessions and materializations and self-esteem and what makes you feel good. So that's really exciting. And we're going to end off the week with it sitting in the cardinal energy of Leo. So by next Monday, we would have made our way all the way to Leo. The part of fortune moves very frequently, as does the ecliptical of the sun and the moon and things like that. But that's it for that part. As far as other little celestial happening on March I was about to say March. Anyway, on August 15th, which was a few hours ago, we were in the waning gibbous moon at 83%. The moon was in Pisces. The moon is still in Pisces. My dreams have been so vivid. It has been so clear. You have no idea. But the sun rose at 6:10 a.m. For those of you who don't know, I'm in New Jersey. So I'm giving you the times and the days off of New Jersey. But if you live like away from the East Coast and you live in another coast, the times will be different. And if it's something that's happening in the middle of the night or very early in the morning, the days might be a little different for you as well, as far as when a planet with sun and will rise and fall, what time it'll be conjunction and stuff like that. That'll be like a little bit different for you, especially, different time zones and stuff like that. So just be mindful when you're listening to my forecast. Um, but the sun rose at 6:10 a.m., be setting at 7:56. We're getting less and less sunlight, and it's making me sad. Saturn at 5:37 a.m. was at its max brightness. I've been seeing Saturn like since all last week, and he has just been sexy as shit. You hear me? Especially when the Saturn and the Moon were in conjunction. Because the Saturn. Yes, I'm saying yesterday because I didn't go to sleep yet. But on August 14th, Saturn was the closest distance to the Earth. So Saturn is really big right now. You probably seen it like a little bit above the Moon when the Moon was full. Moon and Jupiter were in conjunction today at 6:39 a.m. The Moon was 2.2 degrees south. Minimal angle occurred at 8:52 a.m. The Moon was 1.9 degrees south southeast, and that was able to be observed at 5:42 a.m. with a 2.5 degrees south separation. The Alpha Capricorns reached the end of their activity, so we're slowly getting rid of all the meteor showers that we had for the summertime. There goes one of them. I hope you guys enjoyed the Perseus that reached their max activity. The moon was so bright I didn't get a chance to see them, but I did catch a Capricorn last night going out, and I was like, oh, shoot, a star. That was really fly. And then I was so hype about myself because now I know where stars are and shit, kind of like, oh, I'm getting better. And the more I study the stars, the more the stars are starting to reveal themselves to me. Like I can catch more stars with my eyes now. It's really fucking dope what I'm doing out here. It's really cool. Anyway, um, the shadows of Jupiter's Galilean moons are now visible. So when you look at Jupiter, you're gonna see like two shadows, and then the Ganymede moon following behind. So it'll be like three shadows on Jupiter, and those are the shadows of the moon. There will be a globular. There was a globular cluster M2 in Aquarius constellation, and they reached the highest point in the sky at midnight, which was like 38 minutes ago. So that was fun, being able to see that cluster of stars, and it was very bright. And then, I mean, midnight, like, I don't sleep, so my yesterday and tomorrow would be crazy. Don't mind me. Mercury also reached its highest point in the sky at a magnitude of 2.0, so you should have seen um, Mercury and that M2 globular cluster kind of around each other, looking like a constellation of its own, which was really cool. As far as today, August 16th, now we're in August 16th, we have a waning gibbous moon at 72%. The moon will rise at 10:38 p.m. and it'll be setting at 11:17 a.m. The moon is in Aries, okay? So new beginnings time, gang, gang. New beginnings in your comfort zones. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready to get uncomfortable? It's going to be some things popping off that's going to make y'all real uncomfortable. The sun will be rising at 6:11 a.m. and setting at 7:54 p.m. The east side of the moon is tipped into view, so now we're going to be seeing Mare Crisium. So you're going to start seeing some craters. I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but when you see certain sides of the moon, you'll see more craters, then you'll see less craters, and then sometimes it looks like a lot of gray area, which is actually the ice on the moon, and there's a lot of water underneath. Really interesting. Um, the evening visibility of Jupiter will begin today as well. Vesta, we talked about Vesta energy being your inner nun, but that orbit will be 1.6 degrees northwest of the Helix Nebula in the South Aquarius constellation. That'll be best visible at 2 a.m., which is like an hour and 20 minutes from now if you're in Jersey. And then the moon will be entering the ninth house this evening as well, which is the house of philosophy and traveling and things. So as you're exiting your comfort zone, um, you will be expanding your mindset, traveling a little bit for my time travelers out there. August 17th will be in a waning gibbous moon at 63%. The moon will rise at 11:03 p.m. and set at 12:33 a.m. We'll be entering the Taurus zodiac energy, okay, with the moon. Bringing on that comfort energy of materialization, tapping into your self-esteem and pleasure seeking a little bit. Please be mindful of what you seek pleasure in, because if you're not paying attention, Uranus is still in Taurus regardless of what the moon is doing. So you go ahead and do some shit you ain't got no business doing if you want to. Uranus is going to tap that ass. The sun will rise at 6:12 a.m. and it will set at 7:53 p.m. Vesta will be the smallest distance to the Earth. So all my little nuns out here, the force will be with you. I don't know if you'll be tested or if you'll be congratulated for your efforts. That'll still be a little bit of a test. Deneb Al Jodi will be opposite the sun at 12:53 p.m. and the best visibility of the year. For those of you guys who don't know, Deneb Al Jodi is a part of the Capricorn constellation. It's actually the star at the tail of the goat. The moon was playing around with Deneb Al Jodi last weekend during the full moon period. This has the energy of Saturn and Jupiter at the same time, so it's giving you like that Papa Bear, authoritarian, patriarchal, like structure kind of energy, being pious, dignified, and conservative. Um, yeah, I think of it like a general, like an army general type energy within that Jodi, if you will. And then Venus and Persepi will be at minimal angle. Venus will be zero point 0.6 degrees south southwest. Conjunction will be zero point 0.6 degrees south of Persepi. For those of you guys who don't know, Persepi is a part of the Cancer constellation. Is actually located at the head of the crab. If you're versed with looking at the constellation, it rules your right eye. It gives off the energy of Mars and the moon, so it's pretty like volatile, emotionally driven. It's a violent, so if you're an emotionally and violent person, please stay your ass in the house. Nobody wants to deal with your energy. But it does bring on the energy of disease and disgrace. Can be adventurous as well. Just be mindful of what the adventure is. You know what I mean? But we're definitely dealing with that crabby energy. And then Mercury will be at its highest altitude in the sky. So for those of you guys who are organizing your energy and decision making and stuff, decision making energy might be on 1,000 with Mercury being at the highest point, which we know is the midheaven. August 18th, we're dealing with the wand and gibbous moon at 53%. The moon is going to rise at 11:31 p.m. and it's set at 1:27 p.m. the next day. The moon will still be in Taurus energy. The sun will rise at 6:13 and set at 7:51. So we lose like 3 minutes. We're losing like 3 minutes of sunlight a day, basically. The moon and Uranus will be in conjunction at 12:05 p.m. because both of them are sitting in Taurus energy at the time. The moon will be 0.3 degrees north. Minimal angle will be at 12 p.m. at 0.3 degrees north northwest. You'll be able to observe this at 5:10 a.m. With a 2.6 degree west southwest separation. So like when it's like twilight outside and you see those last little bit of really big stars around the moon. Yeah, Uranus fitting to be one of them. And that's very exciting. Tap into that for the progressive energy that you're trying to accumulate for yourself so you can make changes in your space. Mars and Pleiades will be in conjunction at 9:28 a.m. Mars will be 5.7 degrees south. For those of you guys who don't know, Pleiades is part of the Taurus constellation. It's all about how you cope with sorrow. So for those of you who are dealing with healing, especially from all these transformational energy and new beginning energy that you're still trying to learn how to understand and accept, that Pleiades energy is definitely going to give you a nice little hug to help you cope with the sorrows that come with transformation and new beginnings. The moon will be also in ascending node, so it will start to rise. We got a little circle going, so now we're going that way. Kappa Cygnets will reach their max activity at 3 an hour, so that'll be a nice little meteor shower you guys might catch. The summer triangle will begin, which is Vega, which is a part of the Lyra constellation. Well, yeah, the Lyra constellation. Deneb, which is part of the Cygnus constellation, and Altair, which is a part of the Eagle the Aquila constellation. So just to let you know that the triangle is from August 18th to the 31st. This is the summer triangles, like our little Bermuda triangle popping off in the cosmos. Vega in the Lyra constellation. If you don't know the story of the Lyra, was it Zeus? Morpheus had a lyra and he was playing it, and he was using it to enchant the beasts and the stones and the crystals. It's like an enchantment harp that he had. And when Morpheus died, they put the lyra into the constellations to provide enchantment from the cosmos. So basically, that constellation and that star, Vega, is actually the brightest star in that constellation. It's actually the fifth brightest star in our solar system space. So you see Vega a lot and probably don't even know it. But it gives off the energy of Venus and Mercury, which is like a lot of materializing and pleasure seeking at the same time. Also, being mindful of the story for all my musicians and my creatives and my artists out there. That's the energy of Vega. And there's also the energy of to be seen, because out of all the stars of Lyra music, Vega is the Beyonce. You feel me? Vega is Gladys Knight. Vega is Aretha Franklin. Like, what is a girl group? Let's not talk about it. You know what I mean? Vega is the Justin Timberlake of NSYNC, of the Lyra constellation. You feel me? Like, I don't need this group. Ain't nobody coming to see you, brother. Like, nobody coming to see you, cuz they come to see me. Like, so that's the energy of Vega, is like that superstar type energy in that creative space. Creators, musicians, artists. Um, it's all about being seen and rising above mediocrity. Anybody who knows me knows that I cannot stand mediocrity. I cannot stand being forced to praise and accept and be grateful for mediocrity. It's fucking boring. I don't want to do it. Anyway, the other part of the triangle is the neb, which is the swan, which is in the Cygnus constellation. This gives off the energy of being clever and intellectual, being quick to learn things. Also, fierce and protective is the energy of just the swan constellation in general. So you have this artist being quick witted and a quick learner and intellectual. Let's talk about the other point to this triangle, Altair, which is in the Eagle constellation, in the Aquila zodiac energy around this constellation. There's constellations within constellations. That's why when you study the stars or your natal chart, you literally can study forever. So if you're just stuck on the main planets and the main houses, you're doing yourself a disservice. Once you learn that, graduate. Graduate to the constellations. Graduate to the asteroids and the comets. Graduate. There's more to learn. And that's only if you've mastered these. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I mastered all my stuff. I have not fully mastered my houses personally. Like, I because I do more readings for the transit charts and other people than I do for myself. That's that's the Virgo energy in me. I do way more for other people than I do for myself. So I haven't fully, like, gotten to all the asteroids. And then now, like I told y'all before, it's over 12,000 asteroids and comets that you can study that have EMFs that align for you to enter this. Like, you are such a beautiful fingerprint. Your soul is such a beautiful fingerprint. You can meet people that are somewhat like you, but they are not exactly like you at all. It's just it's just really dope. Like, even twins can't even exit the womb at the same time to have the same planetary placements. You feel me? Like, it's at least like a few comets or asteroids that are in a different degree, that's in a cardinal instead of a mutable, that is in a different minute or so, and all of that matters. That's how special you are. That's how special you are. That's so exciting. So special. But Altair is in the eagle, and this is the third corner of this Pythagorean, triangle situation going on. And this brings on the energy of imagination, strong passions, influence, clairvoyance, boldness, and position of command. So for all my artists out there, all my creators, my musicians, and listen, first of all, I'm talking about me because I'm an artist and y'all know I'm a creator and stuff like that. But like, things have really been coming in my way. Things have definitely been falling on my lap to create and stuff like that. And I'm very excited about that. And it's just like, for those of you guys, peace, pieces. For those of you guys who have been, tapped into your inner artist or your inner musician, stuff like that, it's time to sit in the powerhouse seat of that. It's time to use your intellect in those spaces as well. Be more intentional with your lyrics. Are you talking about shit that you don't want to repeat later on? Like, I know a lot of us use music as our outlet. Use it as your outlet and things like that. But not but and at the same time, be mindful of what you're attracting when you utilize the music as your outlet. Like, okay, so when I was younger, I could only write poems and stuff like that when I was sad. Like, I would literally only write when I was sad. So all the pieces I would write was sad. Like, even now, like, I have diaries from 2000 when I was 14 and 15. Don't even worry about it. I had poems from the 90s. Like, I had, and I was sad as shit. Like, god damn, I was sad. It's crazy. Like, bro, when I read them, I feel so heavy. I feel so sad. I couldn't imagine writing those as songs and today in my space going on stage and performing those songs. I couldn't imagine. Oh God. I'd be so fucked up in my head right now trying to figure out if I'm present or not because I still feel sad. I'm still putting those sad spells on myself and stuff like that. Oh fuck no. So like have those kind of intentions too. Like, is this a song that I can see myself performing 10, 15 years from now if somebody requested it without being emotionally invoked into something that I don't want to be emotionally invoked in? If you got a I hate nigga song, do you really want to perform that I hate nigga song like 10 years from now when you're way more enlightened? Or are you going to be embarrassed about that song? Stuff like that. Like, ask yourself questions like that. Stuff like that matters. Stuff like that matters. Where are we at? The sun will enter the first house on the 18th. So now the sun is in your ascending space. Your ego is on your mask, gang gang. And then the moon is going to enter the 10th house on the 18th as well. So the moon is now in your space of success. So when you tap into whatever the moon is doing at that space and time, on that day, the moon will be in Taurus energy. So when you tap in what the moon is doing, you'll be tapping into your achievements and aspirations and things of that nature. August 19th will be on the last quarter moon at 43%. There's no rising time for the moon. The moon's just going to come and go and go. And the moon is going to set at 2:31 p.m. The last quarter moon will be in Gemini energy. And that's always fun. This is time to, like, when the moon is in the process of disappearing, we're kind of wrapping things up. We're wrapping up projects. Now, when the moon is in the last quarter, now is the time of like, you might start getting like gratification for the things you've done, but just know we're not at the end of this phase yet. And then also time to rehash. Like, what's been working? What's not working? What's going on here? What am I not feeling right now? Stuff like that. Start having those conversations with yourself. The sun will rise at 6:14 a.m. and sun will set at 7:50 p.m. The moon and Pleiades will be in conjunction at 7:19 a.m. The moon is 3.4 degrees south of Pleiades. The minimal angle will be at 10 a.m. with the moon 3.1 degrees south southeast. You'll be able to observe that at 5:10 a.m. with a 3.8 degrees south separation. So this is coming back into the sidereal and the tropical chart. Just because the moon is in Gemini zodiac, is still in the Taurus constellation, which is Pleiades. Pleiades is the seven sisters in the Taurus energy. Okay. And that's coping with sorrow. So your inner feminine energy is going to assist you or hug you in that sorrow energy that you're going to, be needing healing in. I told you, when we start the week, we're going to be on fire, new beginnings and excited. And as we get to the end of the week, we're going to be out here like, where's my healer? Where's my therapist? I need a reading. Or it might be the opposite for you. It depends on what your natal energy is. But it's going to be that 180. That 180 is going to happen for everybody this week. Get ready. The moon and Mars will be at minimal angle at 5:17 a.m. The moon will be 2.2 degrees north northwest. Conjunction will occur at 9:05 a.m. where the moon will be 2.5 degrees north. The sun will enter the first house. I talked about that already, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then the investor will enter the seventh house. The Vesta energy, your inner nun, is entering that house of one-on-one relationships. On August 20th, we'll still be at the last quarter moon at 34%. The moon will rise at 12:04 a.m. and it will be setting at 3:33 p.m. We'll still be in that Gemini constellation. The sun will rise at 6:15 and set at 7:49. The moon in Aldebaran will be in conjunction at 5:41 a.m. The moon will be 7.2 degrees north of Aldebaran. For those of you guys who don't know, Aldebaran is the brightest star in the Taurus constellation. It is the eye of the bull. It actually follows behind the Pleiades seven sisters, so it's called the follower as well. Excuse me. It gives off the energy of Mars a little bit, honor, intelligence, courage. In history, when the star was doing its thing, it was like a symbol of like political undertakings occurring and stuff like that. So big political governments and factions and stuff, they follow the eye of the Taurus star to do the things that they do and how they do it. That's their chess piece on the board. Um, And I do advising for all my little politicians and activists out there. I do advisement in the cosmos. Every good politician should have a cosmic follower. That's how they built their buildings, and that's how they make their moves on certain dates and times. You think it's not by design that the voting date, election day is on the day that it's in, and inauguration day is on? You think all that is divine? You don't think it's divine? No, it's all divine timing. It's all in alignment with the cosmos, and it's intentional. That's why sometimes you'll see they move days or hours or whatever. They'll do that. Because they have a spirit, they have a cosmic, they have an astrologer. I was just going. I'm trying to find a word. Yeah, they have an astrologer that does that. That helps them do that. Um, but Vesta will be at its maximum brightness. Vesta is just doing this thing this week. So shout out to all my abstinent, my celibate people out there, gang gang. That's not me though, gang gang. It's like no, I'm fasting for 30 days though. I'm fasting right now, so that's fun. Um, the stars of the Sagittarius constellation will be best visible at 9:30 p.m. on this day. And then Mars will be entering Gemini on August 20th. So that's fun. You're going to see that little switch. So if you find yourself getting angry on August 20th, you know why. Your Mars is probably in fire. And somebody's air energy just pissed you off. Be mindful. August 21st, now we're dealing on Saturday. No, this is Sunday. August 21st is on Sunday. We're in that waning crescent moon. So now we're disappearing even more. We're still moving towards the end of the goal. We're wrapping things up. We're paying attention. We're being mindful of some of that gratification and knowing that it's not for us. Don't get too excited and hung up on it. We're at 25%. The moon will rise at 12:42 a.m. and set at 4:31 p.m. We're in that Gemini zodiac still. The sun will rise at 6:16 a.m. and set at 7:47. The Mars and Pleiades will be at minimal angle at 3:30 p.m. Mars will be 5.6 degrees south southeast, and you'll be able to observe that at 12:20 a.m. with a 5.6 degrees south southeast separation. And then each star in Lyra's parallelogram is marked with double stars in the corners. So like Lyra has a little parallelogram shape. If you guys don't remember what a parallelogram is, it's like a rectangle that's like diagonal. I I should have brought my like I'm trying to get better at the animations, but they're very time consuming, and I juggle so much. I be wanting to have my animations every week, but it just don't be working out for me. Anyway, yes, Lyra has a parallelogram within its constellations, and what's happening now is there's going to be two stars for each corner. So you're going to see that parallelogram very vivid with those two cluster stars in each corner. So it's like double. Like this week is for my musicians. You're going to be so inspired to make new music, new sounds, new lyrics are going to come to you. Please tap into the meditate, listen, say, hey Lyra, what you got for me, guys? You know, we're chanting and doing all this fun stuff. Be mindful because even though we're there, you know how you got like in the Wizard of Oz, you had the four witches and two of them was good and the other two wasn't shit. So like you gotta understand that like while you know there are people that's utilizing the enchantment for good, there's people who know about Lyra and they're using enchantment for bad. So if you hear DJ Clue say new shit, and some fucking low vibrational shit come out telling you don't make no new friends and fuck niggas and fuck bitches and we hate kids and all that shit, you know what that is too. Okay? They're using Lyra as well. And it works on some people. Don't let it work on you. I better not see y'all quoting shit out there because I'm judging. um, but yeah, that's what's happening with the parallelogram. Vesta is going to enter Aquarius, giving you that Vestal Virgin energy and social circles. So now you're gonna start telling the world how you a virgin, and it's like no, I'm just playing. But definitely starting to apply like that fasting energy and the energy. Vestal Virgins were VIP. You hear me? Like it wasn't a gloom and doom position. They got the utmost respect. They walked into a room, people, backed up out their way and cleared way. They can walk into a prison and say, "Oh, I'll free my cuz," and they no questions asked. When Shakespeare, I don't say Shakespeare, but like when whoever was it, Aristotle was having his plays, they got front row seats, no questions asked. I ain't buy no fucking ticket. I'm a Vestal Virgin. What the fuck are we talking about right now? Sit me in the front. Where's my popcorn? Let's go. That is the energy of a Vestal Virgin. They're pure, but they're pompous. Don't play with me, okay? Um, but that's sitting in the social revolutionary energy of Aquarius. So, have that energy, create some revolutionary energy in your space. Juno is going to enter the seventh house, and we talked about Juno being your talent in the arts. That's entering the house of your one-on-one relationships, creating balance and fairness and things of that nature. The moon will also be entering the 11th house. Mind you, the moon is in Gemini constellation. I mean, Gemini zodiac, but still in Taurus constellation. So it'll be entering the 11th house of humanitarian pursuits while in those two spaces, which is pretty exciting. We like doing stuff for other people, right? We like everybody kind of wants the world to be different. We want to be the change we want to see in the world and stuff. So like definitely like tap into that energy. I know we gotta like cope with the sorrows of Pleiades, but just be mindful that we're still in Taurus energy of materializing at the same time and pleasure seeking. And then we're in that communication energy of Gemini too. So like you know, speak things that you want into existence. Don't speak so much into our sorrow so much because you don't realize you're speaking those things into existence too when you keep speaking on them. It's a certain way you can speak on them. Empower yourself. You know, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Be like Oprah. Uh, August 22nd. August 22nd is next Monday. Now we're bringing our week to a closing, and I'll see y'all next Monday. But August 22nd will be in the waning crescent moon at 17%. So you already know by the end of next week we'll be in our new moon energy. So start preparing yourself this week for the new moon energy at the end of next week. The moon is going to rise at 1:27 a.m. and set at 5:23 p.m. Can you, bro? When you move the TV, you're moving my stuff too. You heard me? Hello? When you move the TV, you're moving my stuff too. Stop. At 5:23 p.m. and it's in the Cancer zodiac. Um, the sun will rise at 6:17 a.m. and set at 7:46 p.m. The moon in Teja posterior will be minimum angle at 4:31 a.m. The moon is 4.2 degrees north northwest. The conjunction will occur at 6:33 a.m. and the moon will be 4.3 degrees north. For those of you guys who don't know, Teja posterior gives off the energy of Mercury and Venus. It's part of the Gemini constellation. It's actually located in the back foot of Polar, which was the immortal twin. That was immortal twin. And it gives off the forest energy protection. It rolls over your hands, arms, or shoulders. Um, So with the moon, your comfort zone, your comfort space, your feminine space being in this space, like you'll either want to be in an energy where you feel protected, or you're going to be the protector in this space. Somebody's going to come to you for protection. And then it'll be the max north declination of the moon. So all week long, the moon was ascending. Now we're here, and we've gone down. It's time to go down. Um, and that'll be at 11:09 a.m. And then the moon will be the furthest distance to the Earth at 5:40 p.m. So that's exciting. So that's what we have in the cosmos this week. It's not as like crazy as last week was. We are calming down a little bit. Definitely tap into these retrogrades. Slow yourself down. Align your natal chart with these retrograde charts. Tap into some of these asteroids and comets, these dwarf planets. Start getting in tune with that asteroid belt. Um, if you guys haven't already, tap into Virgo Virgin Talk. We get really in depth with the astro belt. We name about a good 20 to 25 different asteroids and comets and their placement as far as astronomy goes, and then their properties as far as astrology goes. So, definitely tap into that episode, Asteroids and Comets. Oh my, that was a really good one. If Virgos, like we're very cutthroat in our language. We talk how we talk, so if you're comfortable with the way I speak, you'll be comfortable with the way we speak. Because there's two of us up there. And you can definitely tap into the knowledge. It's so much. I was so excited, dude. You have no idea the amount of resistance it was to do that episode, first of all. It's almost as much as resistance is happening because our next episode is about constellations. And these are two things that people, especially our astrologers, don't really tap into. And I think because of that, we're dealing with so much resistance with getting these episodes out. But it's cool. We're nearing the end of our season. Our season finale will be this weekend. We're gonna do a double episode this weekend, one at 11 p.m. on Saturday, and another one at 11 p.m. on Sunday. So having those two episodes out, and we have our, that's going to be our finale, season finale, and we'll see you guys next season for Virgo Virgin Talk. And also Seeds of Sun podcast. I get the seeds and the sun part mixed up. I got like a little like dyslexia thing going on with the title. But the Seeds of Sun podcast will be this Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tap into that on Do the Knowledge Radio. I'm very excited about our episodes this season. We are talking about bonds, different bonds. Our first episode, if you haven't tapped in, we talked about familial bonds as far as you being the child. What did you expect from your parents? What did your parents give you? How did it affect you, etc., etc.? So, tap in to find out what this weekend's episode is going to be about. What bonds are we going to talk about next? Um, so I'm very excited about that. The Cosmic Noise Convention is next weekend, August 26th to the 28th. If you guys are interested in going camping, I suggest camping for a lot of you guys, especially for a lot of you guys whose nature has been calling your spirit. You find yourself meditating outside a lot. You find yourself losing a lot of your material things and your access to material things that you find yourself attached to, especially things in this matrix like a house and electricity within the house that is being powered by our ancestors' graves, shit like that. Um, if you find those things slipping through your fingers, it's definitely time for you to start going camping, become one with nature, and learn how to live off the land for real, for real. A lot of our revolutionaries did not have these things that you're clinging onto. In fact, they had to get rid of those things that you're clinging onto for them to be the revolutionaries that they're supposed to be. So if you're still in your comfort zone, it's okay, because the like I told y'all in this planetary forecast, it's time to exit out your comfort zone. Aries is about to fuck that ass up. Just removing you out of your comfort zone. Aries is all up in that eighth house energy of transformation and new beginnings. And we know with things coming into your space, things have to go away. You can't carry a whole bunch of stuff in your hands. We're not one trip or die trying it. We're not doing that. We're not doing that in tasks and cosmos and journeys. That's just not where it's at. But that's what I have for y'all. I'll be doing lives later on this week, doing tutorials for my website. I have new items on my website. I'm constantly uploading. I have a new sale on my website, 19% off all things on my website, services and products. Um, and that's going on until September 19th, which is my birthday. Gang, gang. I'm coming. But yeah, that's what I got for y'all. I'm about to go to sleep. I thought I was gonna be able to stay up a little bit longer. I've been fighting a nap all day. I told y'all earlier, like all that fixated Taurus energy and the cosmos going what make y'all want to take naps. I've been fighting my shit. My Mars and Gemini is like, no sis, we got shit to do. Ain't no nap happening right now. So right, but now I'm going to sleep. Like I thought I was gonna have more time and energy to do things after this, but I do not. So my apologies to those of you guys who are waiting on your readings. I'm coming, y'all. Give me a minute. I gotta get up in the morning and do things I don't want to do because I'm still not super tapped into Uranus and Taurus yet. So the universe is still beating my ass. But y'all have a good night. Thank you so much, Raquel. Thank you so much, Romeo, for y'all being in the comments. I really appreciate y'all. And please share this video. Let people know that I do this every Monday. What time we don't know because I be on my own timing, but my intentions are at 3:33 p.m. So I'll see y'all next Monday, y'all.